How to block scarves in a bag. Got 3 new patterns that are going to be released on my website very soon, and in order to take beautiful photos of them, I need to block them first. So today I was just going to show you how I block 2 simple lace scarves, which is a little bit different than the way you would block a shawl that has wavy edges. We're going to be blocking these a little differently because we're going to try to maintain our straight edges. And then I'm going to block them in a wet bath. We're going to do a little rapture bath for them. So I'm going to take a cap full of rapture. You don't need very much. Rapture All Natural Delicate Wash is highly concentrated, so a cap is plenty to do a wash. We'll fill with room temperature water and add both of the scarves. Then while we let that soak for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to show you how I'm going to steam block a new market bag. And here's the bag. So it has crochet motifs in the center, which I already blocked a little bit just in order to be able to crochet around them. And then it's half double crochet for side panels, a bottom, top, and the straps. And then everything is joined together with slip stitches, which gives a lot of structure to the project. This one is done in Be So Sporty Yarn. The other 2 scarves were Be So Fine Yarn. And then I also created a flat bottom on the bag, which I thought would be fabulous for being able to take it to the beach or the park or even to the farmer's market. So what I want to do with this bag is steam block it. So you could either use your ironing board, or to make it easier to watch on the video, I was going to lay a towel down. I've got the blocking mats out for when we do the scarves. So I'm just going to lay a fresh, clean, dry towel down. I have my iron filled with water. And I'm just going to give it a quick steam. And I want to make sure that I steam my seams. So like the flat bottom, I want to lay flat on the sides, and then down the middle, I want to flatten out these side seams. And then I'll do the same thing to the straps. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the other side. We'll get that little flat bottom, or the side seam for the flat bottom. And then the whole side seam. And then do the strap. All the patterns I'm going to show you today, as I'm blocking them, all of these will be free patterns on my website. They'll be up in the next few hours, or maybe the next couple, at least the latest tomorrow. Okay, so now we'll just give the fronts another light blocking. How pretty. This is ready for the photo shoot now. And you can see there's the flat bottom. Because I did those little seams on the side, perpendicular to the side and bottom seams, I've got a nice flat bottom to it. I love flat bottoms on a bag. Okay, this one's ready. So now I'll remove the iron, get it out of the way. And we'll use this towel again. Going to remove the scarves from their rapture bath. I'm going to squeeze out the water, making sure not to wring anything. If you wring your delicates, you do run the risk of damaging your stitches. You just want to squeeze it out gently. Okay. And now we'll squeeze these on the towel a little bit too. The dry towel will absorb a lot of the moisture that's still in the wet yarn. Okay, go grab my pins. Okay, I'm going to fold my scarves in half for pinning. If that fold line ends up staying, I can always steam that out at the end, but it's easier to make the block the scarves symmetrically if I can work through both thicknesses at the same time. This one has beads in it. You probably can't see them in this lighting, but you can probably hear them when I put it on the bats. Okay, so now I'm just going to start pinning. I'm going to start with the corners. Now, keeping the yarn doubled or the scarves doubled like this will make a difference in drying time, except what I always like to recommend is that you put moving air on your blocking and drying pieces, and it speeds up the drying time so much that it doesn't really matter if the fabric is doubled like this. So I will either put this under a ceiling fan or grab a standing room fan, and it speeds up the drying time so much that it doesn't really matter. Just going to try to eyeball this first and then adjust as I need it. If you wanted these lines perfectly straight, you could always use blocking pins, which are those blocking wires, I'm sorry. They're really long pieces of wire that you can thread in through here and then pull your pins up. I prefer to pin by hand, even if it takes hundreds of pins. There's something very relaxing to me about pinning things out by hand. And I like going back and readjusting. I find some entertainment in it. I'm guessing that's UPS. I better go check. Okay, so again, in this top portion here, what I'll end up doing is, if it shows a crease when I pull it off, I can quickly run that under the steam iron when I straighten it out. Okay, so the first scarf is done, and now we'll start pinning the second one. And I'm going to go in the opposite corner to start. And these scarves are doubled because I like to keep the right and left side of the scarf symmetrical. If you're having an issue with the double thickness taking too long to dry, you can always run this under a fan. Being as far south as I live in South Florida, I usually run things under a fan anyways because the humidity here is so high that things never like to dry. So I will be putting this under a ceiling fan or a room fan, you know, the oscillating kind. I'll put it under one of those and it'll be dry in no time. So just like with the shawl that I block, I'd like to work in midpoints to try to keep things symmetrical. And then I go back in afterwards and readjust as I need to. I don't mind having a little bit of a scallop on these edges, but I want to try to get them as straight as I can. This scarf has beads in it. These are both part of a new project that I have called TIDBITs, and that's a very small sampling of Be So Fine yarn. Be So Fine yarn comes in 650 yard hanks, so these are only 200 yard TIDBIT singles is what I'm calling them, and you can purchase one for under $10 to try out the yarn, and each TIDBIT single will make one of these scarves. They're approximately 6 to 7 inches wide and approximately 55 to 60 inches long, and these are the two first patterns for the TIDBIT singles, and there will be more. This one is a crochet lace. This one's a very simple crochet lace with beads, and they're new patterns that will be on my website as soon as I can get photos taken of the projects. The yarn is available for purchase now, and I will have videos for how to make these projects on my YouTube channel very soon. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in and readjust anything that I think needs a little fussing over. The higher up I can get to get a good aerial view helps to determine if I like the way everything is looking. And this seam here, if it looks funny or creased when everything's dry, I will open it up and just run a quick little dab of steam iron over it, and that'll straighten that right out. I think I might even need a tape measure to make sure that that's straight. Got 6 inches here. Yeah, and close to 7 inches there. So this side could get bumped up a little bit. And I'll do the same thing for this one here, make sure that they look about the same on both ends. Nope, the sides, I think what happens is I end up being a little too delicate on the folded side, so I just need to stretch this side out a little bit more to make it symmetrical with the ends. Then stepping away from them for a few minutes doesn't hurt either. I like to step back for a few minutes, work on something else, then come back to it and see if they need adjusting again. And then they just need to dry and they'll be ready to go. as soon as these patterns are available, I'll put links in the video description. If you have any questions, by all means, ask away, and I'd be happy to help you with any of these free and super fun, quick patterns. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos.